Hi, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today I'm looking over a batch of boys in the American Bresse. There's 3 different age groups in here, and I had pegged them earlier in life as probably dinner. And I'm just looking at them again to see if that's still going to hold true. The one thing I'm noticing so far between all of them is that they're pale in the leg color. I've already pulled out my promising boys and put them in a safer situation inside the barn. They have the darker feet, as well as the typical fleshing and growth and other good traits. These guys have a variety of things that I don't particularly care for, which is what landed them in dinner grow out. They're behaving pretty well, so I haven't felt the need to pull out the older ones yet. They range in age from 10 weeks to 14 weeks. The guys with the most comb growth are the older ones. Those that are in the 12-week area are molting out, so their feathers look pretty dumpy right now. But even though I already pegged them as culls, I still want to check on myself and see if I'm missing one that was a late bloomer. It doesn't look like I am. This one's being nosy and curious. I kind of like him, but he needs some more growth to let me know if he's going to get a reprieve or not. He's very interested and what the pig is eating. That guy in the middle has pretty good body width, but again, he's got one little bent toe and pale leg color. Here in another couple weeks, I'll be able to see what they look like after they finish up their juvenile molts. And at that point, we'll get the scale out and check their weights and compare them against each other and compare them against the other ones I have elsewhere. But I like to peek in on them every morning when I'm doing their feed and water, just to watch for anything that's different or anything out of the ordinary with them. Making sure that they're getting along. I'm gonna walk in here and see what they think of that. See how spooky they might be. If we get down here on their level, we can see a little more of what they're shaped like, how they're standing, how they're moving around. And the easiest way to think of this bird sorting and bird reviewing thing is to look at where they're different from each other. And then look at where they're similar. And see if you can peg the most common flaw they all share. And that's what's going to tell you what you should focus on when you're figuring out your breeding arrangements for the following season. And based on this group, it's going to be leg color as the most common thing. That guy's a bit long-legged, a little light in the chest. This one has shorter legs, a little more narrow. That one's going to end up pretty bulky, but he's shaped kind of funny. I don't care for that look. That one looks awkward right now, but he might actually finish out okay. The more familiar you get with how they grow, and keeping an eye on them, the easier it is to spot what you're looking for earlier. Earlier in the season I did a line cross. These are from that line cross. We used an outside male. And when you do a line cross, some of the genetics are going to align in just the way you were thinking of, which was the reason why you did it. I was after darker leg color, wider earlobes, and using a little bit lighter body structure because mine were starting to get too thick and heavy. And they're not supposed to be a thick, stalky bird. But also in those line cross situations, you're going to get some results that are not what you're looking for. And that's what these guys are. The duds. But they still present a learning opportunity, and they still show us the range of what can happen when the genetics get tossed together. And they're still going to dress out to be a fantastic dinner. And that dinner process is where we're going to see that the skin texture is still the same, how they layered on fat was still good, the meat texture, how dark the dark meat is on the thighs and the leg, how much meat they ended up with in the front. It's the dinner birds that tell us the table qualities. I like how active they are. Those two are doing some dominance bickering. You can see where the one gave up and walked away and the other did not chase it. That's a good thing. It means they settle their differences without doing any physical harm to each other. They figure out their friendships and who gets along with who. They figure out who's in charge. There's not a single bird that seems to have stepped up as the bossy leader bird. I like that one's legs. They're pretty straight looking. But they're not that dark in color. What do you think, little bird? They're curious about me. They're not being too jumpy. I like to see good activity levels with the curiosity. Going around looking for stuff to eat without picking on each other too bad. This is sort of a small pen that they're in. It's in the neighborhood of 13 by 20. But I have this open area of forage where I can open the gate and let them out there for more free food when I move the pig to a different spot. She's in here chowing down right now. Then I'll kick her out and let the boys go out there. Ooh, I kind of like the shape on that guy walking. But again, legs are too pale. Looks like I'm going to hold to the decisions I made earlier. But I'm still going to look at them every day. It's part of the process of getting to know them. Even though I've had them for several years now, every season they teach me something new. And with these being a line cross, I need to watch their development so I can better steer them and guide them next season when I breed them back into my line. This one's being very brave. The longer I sit here, the more curious they're going to get. And I'm not trying to make friends with them. So I'm going to get up and go about the rest of the chores and look in at all the other pens and check on all the other birds. I'm hoping to get more videos put together with this sort of review and checking out what they're doing and what they're not doing, comparing them to each other, and then getting into the nitty-gritty sorting when we get hands-on, and showing what we feel for and what we look for. Maybe after chores.